Okay, all right. So here is basically a past paper question that is related to whatever we have just discussed. Okay. All right. Now the question says, solve the equation. This is your equation for this theta. Okay, now agree this is the first time, so don't think about it as a past paper question. Let me explain this in detail and then you would get better with within the next 2 to 3 questions. Okay, acha, whenever you have been asked to solve the equation, by now you guys know that you need to find the value of the variable that is theta. And in case of trigonometry, you need to make sure that you find all the thetas that are lying within this interval. Okay, so step 1 is to just simplify the equation you have and get rid of as many trigonometric functions as you can, just so at the end you just have one trigonometric function and that is equal to a number, right? Because the question that we have just done had cos theta equals minus 0.7. So everything was done. Here you need to simplify, you need to cancel trigonometric functions just so at the end we are left with one trigonometric function. So let's get started. Okay. First of all, I am going to take this tan theta minus 2 sine theta on the other side, and this would give me tan theta plus 2 sine theta equals 3 multiplied by tan theta.
Miss,
Yes.
can you tell
Yes.
which paper this question is
Yes.
from?
Here it is.
Okay, Miss, thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's simplify this further. Just think about it as simple maths. So this is tan theta plus 2 sine theta equals 3 tan theta, then 3 would be multiplied with this number. This would give you minus 6 sine theta. Next, let's just simplify this. So I am going to just take all of this on the left side, and this would give me minus 2. Let me do another step because some of you might get confused. Tan theta minus 3 tan theta, then it was positive 2 sine theta, and then plus 6 sine theta equals 0. And this is going to give me minus 2 tan theta plus 8 sine theta equals 0. Okay. Now, at this point, I need to think about this thing, that tan theta is basically equal to sine theta over cos theta, right? This is something that we know already through O levels. This is something that we will be using here because I've told you in case of trigonometric equations, our end goal is to get rid of all the trigonometric functions and just find one trigonometric function, right, in the equation. Okay, so minus 2 into sine theta divided by cos theta plus 8 sine theta equals 0. Next, I can take LCM. I have 1 over here, and this is going to be cos theta minus 2 sine theta plus 8 sine theta cos theta equals 0. I will take this cos theta on the other side, and finally I would get minus 2 sine theta plus 8 sine theta into cos theta equals 0. Now this is what exactly we have. Okay, at this point, what I can do is I can just take sine theta common, and this would give me -2 plus 8 cos theta equals 0. Now I was not able to cancel out sine with cos, obviously, because I cannot do that. But at this point, I know this is what exactly used to happen in quadratic equations as well, right? I know that at this point I can equate sine theta to 0. I can make two equations out of it. So the two numbers are being multiplied. So this can be that sine theta is equal to 0. This is my first equation. And it could be that -2 plus 8 cos theta is equal to 0. And this is my second equation. Yes. Anything that you guys were not able to understand so far?
No, miss, everything's clear.
Okay. All right. Now, when exactly is sine theta 0? Can anyone tell me? For what values of theta is sine theta 0?
0.
Very good. And excellent. Okay, one second. Let me make the graph of sine. We will talk about graphs in detail. But for now, I'm just making this graph just so you guys are able to relate to the concept. Okay. Now we have two equations. And this is the first equation. This is the second equation. We need to solve both of them separately. For the first equation, I got sine theta equals 0. Now it's neither negative nor positive. So at this point, I cannot think about quadrants and all of that stuff, right? Because it's 0 directly. So at this point, we need to just think about the graph. So here is the graph of sine. It's 0, this is 180, and this is 360. Okay, this is theta and this is sine. So I did not explain graphs yet, but I just made this graph just so you guys are able to relate to the concept. Okay, whenever you would come across this thing that sine theta is 0 or cos theta is 0 or tan is 0, you won't be thinking about the quadrants, because in quadrants all we know is when exactly it is positive or negative, right? In order to see when exactly a trigonometric function is 0, just think about its graph. Okay, and if I am telling you that this is the graph, now can you guys tell me for what values of theta is sine 0?
180 and 360.
Okay, and what about you, Modusam? Can you tell me the third theta at which sine is 0? Quickly, please. Sine theta is 0 at this point, it's 0 at this point, it's 0 at this point. Can you tell me the three thetas on these 3 points? Okay, it is 0, 180 and 360 degrees. Okay, do we have any of these three thetas lying in this interval?
Yeah, 0 and 180.
Okay, that would have been fine if we had this, right?
Okay, yes, yeah, that's yeah. Only
Very
0 and 1 0.
Very good. So it is everything between 0 and 180, but 0 and 180 are not included. So technically, we have no solution for this. Like we do have some solution, but whatever solution we have, that is not lying within this range, right? We have 0, we have 180, we have 360. Three of these thetas are not lying within the interval we were given. So no solution for the first one. Let's process the second trigonometric equation. So it is, let me use a different color. It is -2 plus 8 cos theta equals 0, and upon simplification, I can take 2 on the other side, and this would become cos theta equals 1/4. Now we are in the position to think about the quadrants and all of that stuff. Okay. One thing should be certain. Now we can clearly see that cos theta is positive 1 by 4. It is positive 1 by 4, right? So think about all the quadrants that we have. We only have 4 quadrants. Let me just quickly make the 4 quadrants. Okay. Now I'll quickly write it down this way. So it is add sugar to cups. Its cos theta equals positive 1 by 4. So when is cos positive? Cos is positive in the first quadrant because all are positive, and cos is positive in the fourth quadrant because it says cos is positive. So this means that my angle is going to be in the first quadrant and it is going to be in the fourth quadrant. Now, how exactly do I find angle in the first quadrant? It is going to be the alpha directly. Whatever alpha I get, that would be the angle in fourth quadrant. And what about the angle in the fourth quadrant? It would be alpha for the first quadrant. But how do I find the angle for the fourth quadrant? What would be the formula?
360
So,
minus alpha.
yes, very good. Now I know that alpha is same for all the quadrants. Even here I would be having alpha. And how do I find angle in the fourth quadrant? So I'll start off from here. I'll go all the way like this and I will stop here. So imagine this yellow as a circle and just take alpha out of it. So this would give you whatever Rafi has said, 360 degrees is sum of angles in a circle, but we do not have the entire circle. We don't have alpha. So this is basically your formula for the fourth quadrant. You can memorize the formulas or you can think about it logically as well. Like I have always thought about it logically because when we will talk about the clockwise direction, things would get a bit different, right? So that it's important to think about it logically as well. Any confusions with this thing? Please tell me quickly. Motasam and Rafe and Munja. Any confusions with this?
No, miss, everything's clear.
Okay. All right. So let's quickly find out the basic angle, that is alpha. Its cos inverse 1 divided by 4 and it would give you 75.5. So this 75.5 is basically your alpha or angle in the first quadrant. 75.5 degrees. How do I find angle in the fourth quadrant? So it says 360 minus alpha. Alpha is 75.5 and this is going to be 360 minus this. Yes, please keep your mics muted. It would be 284.47. Okay, so we got two answers. Let's see which one is correct or lying in our range. We got theta equals 75.5 for the first quadrant and 284.47 in the second quadrant. Again, you need to look at your interval. Our interval is between 0 and 180 degrees, which means that I cannot include this at all. Okay, so the answer is going to be theta equals 75.5 degrees. This is going to be the final answer. Let me just quickly go through this. Please pay attention and then you guys can go. Okay. In this question, you were asked to solve a trigonometric equation. End goal is same. You need to find the value of theta. In case of trigonometric equation, step 1 is to just simplify the trigonometric ratios you have and try getting one out of these two, right? We had two over here. So I tried simplifying, and finally I got this. At this point, I equated sine theta equals 0 and I equated this entire thing equals 0. So I got 1 and 2. I got two equations. If you look at the first one, sine theta is equal to 0, do not think about the quadrants, because if you look at the quadrants, you would only get information about when exactly it's positive or negative. For 0, always refer to graphs. So far, we did not talk about the graphs. I will certainly talk about graphs in the future. But I just made this graph of sine theta for your help, okay? If you look at the sine theta, you can clearly see that at 0 degrees, at 180 degrees, and at 360 degrees, sine theta is 0. But all these three angles were not lying in my range. This was my interval for theta, and 0 and 180 are not included, and 360 is certainly outside it. So I did not get any solution from the first equation. Then I started considering the second equation. So here it is. I've just simplified it and I got this equation written in the red box. Now, cos theta is positive 1 by 4. Now I can think about quadrants. I know that using this helping word, add sugar to cups, add means all positive. So angle would be in the first quadrant, and cups means cos. And cos is basically, this means that cos is greater than 0, right? So in the fourth quadrant, cos is greater than 0. So this way, I was able to see that the theta would either be in the first quadrant or in the fourth quadrant or both. Okay. For the first quadrant, it is alpha directly. For the second quadrant, it is 180 minus alpha. For the third quadrant, it is 180 plus alpha. And for the fourth quadrant, it is 360 minus alpha. Just think about basic geometry and you guys would able to understand this. Okay. Right. I got 75.5 degrees directly when I did cos inverse 1 by 4. So that is going to be the angle in the first quadrant. And for the fourth quadrant, I did 360 minus 75.5. And this turned out to be 284.47. And this was not included in my interval. My interval was only between 0 and 180. So I did not consider this. Okay. So finally, this is going to be my only answer. It would be 75.5 degrees only. Yes. Now tell me if you have any difficulties, any confusions, anything that's not clear. Yes, Modusam, Rafe, and Munja. Any questions?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, Modusam, anything that you would like to ask? Any questions, Modusam? Can you hear me? Okay, Rafe, do you have any questions?
Not.
Okay. All right, perfect. So this was basically an idea about trigonometric equations. We will talk about some more questions tomorrow. And once we are done with trigonometric equations, because that is a trickier part, then we will talk about trigonometric graph as well, okay?